So traders, right now, the S&P 500 is very, very, very high. In fact, if you look at the last, couple of decades, we have never seen a move like this in this time on this massive long-term charts. So I'm going to be talking more about what's actually going on right now. And I'm going to be talking about zooming in on, this is the big picture. I'm going to talk about the big picture as well too, and about why this is actually a dangerous point and the pattern we should be looking out for to say we're likely to see a lot more downside to come. And that's if we get this pattern. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into it. I'm giving away free access to my trading course. There's 4 phases there in the trading course, guys. If you need help with your trading, just go, you get free access to it, and I promise you, whether it's a trading system or the chart reading or the mindset, I'm just giving it away for free just to help you guys out. I'm having such an incredible time with my trading. Some of the trades we're in right now are just doing so well. And I just want to give back and help you guys as well. So make sure you go get access to that. First link in the description. So the thing that I'm noticing right now when it comes to these markets is maybe this is a repeat. Maybe. To me, I'm in 2 mind frames right now, right? Fundamentally, in the big picture, it doesn't make sense to see why this is the top. We may see a correction, and it may be a hard correction, right? It may be something like we saw back in, from here to here, right? Where we saw like a 20% drop, and then we saw a rally. You know what I mean? So we may see a 15 to 20% drop out of these markets, and it may be starting now. Now, the maybe right now is obviously the key. So I'm in 2 mind frames. The first mind frame is, and by the way, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're at the top of the markets right now, and we're gonna see a complete meltdown, or do you think this is a little bit of a fake out before we start to see a lot more higher? Leave a comment below, guys. Let me know what you think. So I'm in 2 mind. The first mind frame is the big picture, right? Which is what the Fed's doing, the printing of money, and all that sort of stuff, right? The debt ceiling. Now, we know the debt ceiling is going to be raised. We know they're going to keep printing more money. That's just what's going to happen, right? They're going to do that, right? They're fighting, bickering, and arguing and saying, no, yes, no, yes, no, 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 yes, yes, no, no, right? And then they're going to come say, okay, then, well, let's raise it. The government's not going to default on their debt right now. History says that they're going to keep printing and printing and printing and printing and printing, okay? Which is going to eventually devalue the dollar, that devalue the dollar may take another 5 or 10 years to happen. So people think, oh, we're going to devalue the dollar right now by the printing of money. It slowly happens, right? It doesn't just happen overnight. It slowly happens. So it may take another 5 years. So if you're thinking about getting into the gold because you think, oh, dollar's going to get crushed, so I'm going to get into gold right now, just keep in mind that these big picture stuff that we're talking about right now takes time, sometimes takes years, and maybe sometimes even decades to completely unfold. Make sense? So by looking at that, so then I see the big picture when it comes to the S&P 500, and I see where we are right now. But then I see like they're probably going to keep printing more money. There's so much liquidity in the markets. There's so much savings. So many people got so much savings in the markets that I truly believe, guys, that any correction we get out of this, whether it's a 10% correction, whether it's a 15, or whether we get a really big correction like 15 to 20%. Now, if we do get a 20% correction, guys, that is going to be the buy of a lifetime. I'm going to repeat myself again. And this is what I believe. So don't shoot the messenger because guess what? I could be wrong. I'm actually wrong a lot. Well, I wouldn't say I'm wrong a lot. My system's always right. I'm wrong, which means whenever I trade based on what I think is going to happen. So I truly believe if we do get that, that's going to be the buy of a lifetime, just like down here in the Rona days. And if you guys will follow me back here, you guys know I was screaming, this is a gift, this is a gift, this is a gift. And then, 2 years later, makes sense. So same thing for the S&P 500, even like the Dow Jones as well too. If we do get a correction down to 30, maybe even down 30 to 31, which would give us what, a 15% correction in the markets, that there, guys, is going to be a buy of the lifetime. because I do see, well, with all the liquidity in the markets and where we are right now, I do see the Dow Jones eventually. Now, you guys probably going to think I'm absolutely just nuts out of my mind right now. I do see the Dow over the next few years hitting 65,000. Shoot the messenger. I know, like, that's what I see, right? And again, I could be completely wrong, but we're not at the top of the markets yet on a fundamental basis. We haven't really shifted yet. Yes, we're going through a bit of uncertainty with what's happening overseas in China, and the defaults, and obviously we've got the debt ceiling right now, and there's uncertainties about the default and all that sort of stuff. Yes, there's a lot of that stuff happening right now, okay? But once we go through the bit of a shake and bake through the September and October, you watch. November and December are going to be incredible, and probably going to continue into next year as well. So, guys, they are the big scenarios there. Plus, we haven't started raising interest rates yet. Plus, we're still doing QE. We haven't actually started tapering yet as well too. So, right now, this is just probably going to be a nice, healthy correction in the market before we see again. The blow up, what may be the start of a blow off top. Okay, so that's the if scenarios. Like, I don't know, the correction, the pullback right now could be over, because on a technical basis, if I look at the Dow Jones and I bring up this weekly chart, look at this here. Look at this trend line that I've got through here. Right. So if I look at this this weekly chart, look at this here. Right. So we have this bottom line. Let me just bring this over here like so. Right, like that. So if I look at this Dow Jones on this chart through here, and again, guys, I'm going to get to that pattern in just a minute, but this is where like we said, okay, if we do get a pullback, there's actually a lot of support lines here. So this may not even pull back hard at all. This may just be it before we go for another move up. And I'll share with you a pattern to keep an eye for to see. Okay, I'm probably going to spend a bit more time on the downside, but anyway, you can see how we've actually had a lot of support all through these levels through here. Okay. Support, and you can see how to all support, a lot of resistance support. So this is obviously a support and resistance line. We can see we have this starter point through here and this point through here as well too. So there's a lot of support coming through there as well too. But then also we have this sort of angle. This is just, this line through here is just a parallel trend line. And you can see how we've got this channel coming all through here, and we're at that level right now. So we are getting a pullback towards this support level. So the question is, well, the thing is, if I go to that's the weekly chart there, okay, guys? So if I go to my daily charts now, we can see how even if we do get a bit more of a pullback out of this level from where we are now, we get a bit more of a drop to the downside. There's a lot of support around this 32 to like this. You see all these support levels come into play. Now, support levels are just support levels. The market can just slice straight through them like a hot knife through butter and say, ha, what support level? Okay, so just because there's a support level in the markets, and just because I have a support line and a lot of support lines here to see where we are right now in the markets, it doesn't mean it's going to hold, okay? Because the number one thing I should be looking out for, which is the chart itself. So let's go back to the S&P 500 here for a minute. And I'm going to talk about this here, okay? So the S&P 500, if I actually look at some trend lines, there's actually one trend line that I've identified, which may or may not be support, but it is holding support right now. We can see this weekly chart on the S&P 500. We can see we've had back here, this is back in 2019, and we can see we've had a lot of support. We've had a lot of collection all through here. And let me just identify this, right? So we have a lot of collection, all the support through there. And then you can see what actually happened, right? We came down and this tested it as resistance all through here. Like, it really had a lot of problems, but then it got to the other side. And then listen, 1 week, 2 weeks, and then almost there as well too. And guess where we are right now there. So that's a level that the market has been respecting all this time. So we may have just seen the pullback and that's it. Plus there's also another line coming in just underneath it, which is this point here and this point here, which may or may not be something, guys, okay? The thing about trend lines is that it may or may not be that, right? We can find trend lines anywhere if we want, right? To say why we're trying to find yeah. Well, let me rephrase what I mean. It's so important. We can always find a line or a level or something like that there to support the reasons why we're looking for something, right? So if I'm looking for this market to go back up, then we always can find something to support that, right? So but these support levels may not be valid. This first line here is definitely valid. this one here, but this one here is a bit of a question mark because we've only had one touch. So question mark, okay? So, but it doesn't mean it's going to hold there. So let's actually go through to here and let's actually go back through to the daily charts to see what's going on here. So the first sign is we've definitely got a major warning sign. This is a major warning sign of a topping pattern. And the reason why is because in an upward trend, we have higher highs and higher lows, okay? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and a higher low, right? So notice we have the higher lows and now we've made a lower low. The market is starting to change this tune. We haven't done this in a long time. In fact, when was the last time we actually broke a lower low? We haven't actually broken a lower low in this entire move up. It's always been, as you can see, it's always been higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, high low, 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 lower low, right? So now this is a lower low. This is the first warning sign, guys, that something could be happening. So we could be developing into a bit of a short-term top pattern. Short-term means maybe we may be getting ready for a bit of a more movement in through to September, into October, and then maybe we see a big move towards the end of this year. So the very first thing is that we are definitely in this arena through here, and we definitely did gap down. Now, the thing that I'm watching out for to see is we've got a breaking of a lower low, but now I'm looking for a lower high. So if I go back to the good old Rona days, and let me actually bring up the moving average here for a minute. This is just the 20 moving average. I use the 20 and I also use the 52 moving average, but this is more like a bit of a shorter term moving average, the one that I use for my trading. But again, the numbers are relevant, guys. You could use a 22 if you wanted to. It's the number. It's the chart you should be focusing on mainly, not the moving average. But the moving average does give you a bit of a guidance. But you can see what actually happened back here, right? So you can see we actually had a big gap down, which actually could be a breakaway gap. And then guess what? And then now we actually see a slicing of what's actually going on in these markets. So this gap down, and then a breaking of this low, which as you know, right, in an upward trend, we have higher lows and higher highs. We break that low, that's a warning sign. We start to get a lower high, now we have a downtrend, right? Just like Bitcoin did. And then we can see what actually happened with that there. So if we're looking at the markets right now as is, look what's actually going on here. So the as is scenario, or the as is situation, is that we have broken this low. We have broken this low and now we've made a lower low. The thing that I'm watching out for when it comes to this markets, regardless of my views, thoughts, or opinions, which are just fluff and who cares, right? It's about, who cares about what I think? It's about, okay, what's the reality of the market? What's the market telling me? And then let's go there. So we have a lower low. If indeed we start to rally up out of here, or even if we continue down a little bit more and then we start to run up and make a lower high and then we start to roll over like this, and then we create a lower low and a lower high, guess what, guys? Oh my goodness. Then we're probably likely to see a move back down to maybe around the 4,000 level. It's probably likely to see then a much more sharper and harper, hey? How about those three apples? A much more sharper move down, because now the market is changing the tune here. This is a warning sign. This gets a big X warning sign because of the market through there. And if we do start to see a move down, then we're probably likely to see some severe movement on the downside. So this is the warning sign we're getting. And again, guys, let me just go back to the Bitcoin chart. And I've shared this 1,000 times. I even shared this with my clients at the time as well too. It's very, 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 very easy to see. But the market talks to us, okay? And the same thing, higher low, lower high, then guess what? And then we had the severe pullback. We are here, right? We are right here on the S&P 500. If we get this, then yes, look out below, because we're likely to see some big movements. So this is the main pattern to keep an eye out for, guys. Not what you think, not what is happening in the markets. This is what to keep up. If we start to get this, we're probably likely to see a big movement on the downside. But I don't believe it's going to be a top. Yes, we're probably likely to see a bit of a sharp correction out of the markets. But then I believe we're likely to bottom, because the big macro cycle says we're not at the top. The correction, yes. Top, no. And then I see a very, 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 very big move coming in after this pullback. But the pullback may have just already finished. So let's see what happens over this time. But if this pattern does form, then it's all over. Hey traders, I'm giving away 100% free access to my brand new breakthrough full trading course. This is 8 videos over 10 hours of pure amazing and powerful strategies. This is my most powerful systems and strategies that I've used for the last 16 years, and I'm giving it away for free. So this is what I want you to do right now. I want you to go to johnsfreegift.com, or there should be a link around here somewhere, a button or in the description or somewhere in there. Click on that and you can go get free access to my brand new breakthrough trading course. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now. Go to that right now, guys. You can get full, complete, free membership access. Go do that right now.